Hey guys, okay, we are moving on to 3.3, which is essentially just the opposite of 3.2, so it's backwards. So it's like the converse of 3.2. You will have a quiz on Wednesday. Your quiz will be over 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. So all the stuff with lines, transversals, the angle pair relationships, and then if the lines are parallel, what additional relationship that they have, okay? So postulate 16 is the corresponding angle's converse. So all of these are just saying, okay, if I'm telling you that corresponding angles are equal, then that means that these lines are parallel. Or if I am telling you that alternate interior angles are congruent, then these lines are parallel. Before in 3.2, I was telling you, okay, these two lines are parallel, therefore these two angles are congruent. Now I'm telling you these two angles are congruent, therefore those two lines are parallel. Alternate exterior angles converse, same thing. If I tell you that these two alternate exterior angles are congruent, that means that the two lines are parallel. And if I tell you that angle 3 plus angle 5, consecutive interior angles, add up to 180, then that means that these two lines are parallel. Okay? So is it possible to prove that lines P and Q are parallel? If so, state the postulator theorem from above. Okay? So this is 58 and that's 122. For those two lines P and Q to be parallel, that would mean that these are consecutive interior angles and that they add to 180. So I'd have to see if 58 plus 122, that does equal 180. So yes, P is parallel to Q by theorem 3.6, the consecutive interior angles. This whole angle is 85 degrees. And then if they are parallel, it'd be talking about this whole angle for alternate interior angles. And they would have to be congruent. So I'd have to see what 60 plus 25 equals. That does equal 85. Those two angles are congruent. So yes, P is parallel to Q. Those are alternate interior angles. So alternate interior angles is right here. So that's theorem 3.4. Here, this is 120 degrees. It would have to be equal to this whole angle by corresponding angles. So 82 plus 40 is 122. So they are not equal. So P is not parallel to Q, because 122 does not equal 120. Okay? Next one, find the value of x that makes m parallel to n. So we're finding the value of x to make these two things parallel. Well, this is obtuse, this is acute. There's no angle pair relationships. But we know that the obtuse angle plus the acute angle have to add to 180. So that's what I would do. I do 100 plus 2x equals 180. I'd subtract 100 from both sides, so I get 2x equals 80. Divide by 2, so I get x equals 40. And that would be degrees. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, next one. These two angles would be corresponding angles. Corresponding angles should be equal. So this would be 110 should equal x plus 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, so I get x equals 109. And next one, these two angles should be not equal, but they should add to 180 because they are consecutive interiors, so it should be 80 plus x minus 15 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 80 from both sides, so I get x minus 15 equals 100. I'm going to add 15 to both sides, so I get x equals 115. All right, that's good. On this one, alternate interior angles. So alternate interior angles should be equal. So 4x's should equal 6x minus 44. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, so I get negative 2x equals negative 44. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, I get x equals 22. Go ahead and pause me for 8 and 9. Do 8 and 9. Unpause me when you're done to see how well you did. All right. 8. These are corresponding angles, so they should be equal. So it should be 5x plus 23 should equal 7x plus 13. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, so that is 2x. I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides, so that is 10. So 2x is equals 10, so x equals 5. And then if it asked you to go a step further and actually name the angle, all you would do is plug in the x. So like up here, I do 5 times 5, which is 25. 25 plus 23 is 48. This angle should also be 48. You could plug it in to check yourself if you'd like. Next one, these two angles are consecutive interior. Consecutive interior add to 180, so it'd be x plus 20 equals 180. That is 2 x's, and then I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides to get 160. Divide by 2, x equals 80. Okay, choose the word that best completes the statement. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that alternate interior angles are blank, then the lines are parallel. So if I have two lines cut by a transversal, alternate interior angles are blank, then the lines are parallel. Well, they would have to be congruent. They're equal to one another. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that consecutive interior angles, so this guy and this guy, are blank, then the lines are parallel. Those two guys are not equal. Remember, those two guys are supplementary. They add to 180. Remember, complementary means adds to 90. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that corresponding angles are blank, corresponding would be like this guy and this guy, then the lines are parallel. Those guys would have to be congruent. All right, and then our favorite, a proof. What I would like for you to do is pause me and go ahead and try this proof. Unpause me when you're done. All right, so they're telling me G and H are parallel and that 1 and 2 are congruent. I need to prove that P is also parallel to R. So G is parallel to H. That was a given. 1 is congruent to 2, 1 is congruent to 3. That is by corresponding angles theorem. 1 is congruent to 2. That is a given. 2 is congruent to 3. What they did was they sandwiched it. They took out the 1 that they both share, and they sandwiched the 2 with the 3, so that is transitive. In this case, it's POC. Since 2 is congruent to 3, that makes this line parallel to this line. That would be a theorem that we learned today. Those are alternate exterior, so that is alternate exterior converse theorem. Now it's converse, and that's very important because if you just put alternate exterior theorem, that would be incorrect. It's the converse because I know that the angles are congruent. Therefore, the lines are then parallel. Okay? So since we proved the lines are parallel, it is the converse of that. As far as homework, what you are going to do now, there is a Schoology assignment in there, and then you are also going to complete this next page in your supplementary worksheets. It doesn't have a title, but you are going to, it has actually number 5 and number 6 on the front and back. So you're going to complete page 5 and page 6 in your supplementary packet. All right, guys, thanks.